Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday if you're joining me live. I have my moon pants on today. You can't see them yet, but you will when I back up. And that's because this weekend there is a full moon, so that means moon salutation. If I had Mars pants, I would love to wear those because there was an awesome rocket launch this morning. I hope you were able to catch that either live here in Florida or maybe you saw it on the news. All right, we are going to get started. Props that you need today, you need some sort of a belt or yoga strap. So this is just a regular webbed belt. You want to make sure the belt is not stretchy. So it could be a leather belt or a fabric belt. If you have a yoga strap, you can use a yoga strap. You could even use a hand towel. We're going to use that for some stretches for our shoulders and also for our thighs. So go ahead and set that on your, keep it available for standing. If you want to set it down, you can, or you can keep it sitting on a chair. We also have an optional use of a chair. You can see the chair behind me. And if you want to use a chair for bird dog, which is a pose that's on your hands and knees, I'll show an option where you don't have to go onto your knees and you can use a chair. So I'll show it both ways, bird dog and bird dog bow. All right, we are going to get started, my friends. If you want to turn on some music, you can. I'm not playing music. We'll start with a hand gesture. Our hand gesture today is from the American Sign Language, and it represents the word friendship. And you just link your index fingers, relax your shoulders, and feel that connection between right and left. Close your eyes for a moment, breathe. One more breath cycle. Release your hands, wiggle out your fingers, roll your shoulders back, and we'll start off with a standing spinal warm-up. I'm backing up so you can see me head to toe. Now you can see my moon pants. Make the number 11 on your mat. Feet are hip distance apart. That's about the width of a tennis ball between your big toes. We'll start with our elongation, and we'll go through all 7 motions of the spine. So start with your alignment. Bear the weight on the entire foot, the balls of the feet, the heels, the outside edge, the inside edge, the big toe, and the pinky toe. Spread the weight over the entire foot. And now stack your knees over your heels, hips over your heels, shoulders over your heels. Tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets, palms face forward. Mountain pose, Tadasana. We'll start with elongation. Sweep those arms up, scoop the air, lift the rib cage, inhale. Exhale, float the arms down. Do that again. Inhale, scoop, and lift. We'll do 2 more. Make it a little deeper if you want. Add a little bend in the knees. And once more. Elongation. And release. Going into standing cat and cow. Exhale as you draw the navel in. Bend your knees, bend your hips. Hug a giant tree, tuck your chin. Reverse. Lift up with the heart. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Inhaling. Do that again. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Twice more. Exhale. Inhale. Exaggerate the motion of your spine. Exhale. Inhale and return to mountain pose. We're going to add lateral flexion. And as we tip to the side, you don't want to tip over. So let's go ahead and widen the number 11. Just give yourselves a little more foundation there through the feet. And we're going to go into lateral flexion to the right. So place your right hand on your right thigh, left hand to the sky, and start your lateral flexion. Go at your own pace here. Don't think about the side of the body that's closing or collapsing. Think about the side that's open, the left side. Let's do one more with motion, dynamic stretch. Next one we hold. If you want to make this deeper, all the way down the side of the body, keep your hand on the right thigh for support. Take your left foot behind and deepen that stretch all the way down the hip. Standing lateral flexion. One more breath cycle. Lift up, come back to your number 11. And we'll do the other side. Left hand rests on the left thigh, right hand up to the sky. And start your lateral flexion. Again, think about that side of the body that's stretching or elongating. Go at your own pace here. One more. And now let's hold the next one. Standing lateral flexion. If you want that deeper stretch that carries it down into the hip, keep that hand on the thigh for support and take that right foot behind Really adding a deep stretch all the way down the right side of the body. One more breath cycle. Lift up and come back to your number 11. Finishing off with rotation. Whenever we twist the spine, remember to engage the abdominal muscles. Really draw that navel in to protect the low back. And we're going to go into empty coat sleeves. Start just swinging your arms as if you put your jacket on, but forgot to put your arms in the sleeves, and the sleeves are just swinging. And now add a little more of a twist in that upper body. Keep your lower body stationary. If you want, really get those arms up to a helicopter. Do one more each side. And release at center. Soften the knees, give them a little shake. Come back to your mountain pose. Bring your hands behind your body. Just rest the backs of your hands behind your body, getting a deeper opening through that shoulder girdle. Roll the shoulder blades into your back pockets. Before we start our poses, let's just warm up the neck a bit with just some very gentle neck turns. We're not going to do our genie stretch. We're just going to turn the head side to side. Keep it slow and gentle. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale, center. Turn to the left. Go at your own pace now. Exhaling as you turn away from center. Inhaling as you come back to center. Be very mindful of your range of motion. Don't try to go into anything that's too deep. You don't want to do anything that strains the neck muscles here. Just a little mobility. Do one more each side. And return to center. Now we're going to grab that prop. So if you had your leather belt, your fabric belt, or a yoga strap, go ahead and grab it. And we're going to do a couple shoulder mobility poses. If you're using a yoga strap, those are generally 6 feet, and you don't need all 6 feet. So I've folded mine in half. Grabbing the ends, let the strap or belt or hand towel rest in front of your body, and it's slack, so it's making the shape of a smile in front of your thighs. Shoulders relaxed. We're going to lift up to shoulder height 3 times and add tension, and then we'll release that with the exhale, come back to this position. Don't go any higher than shoulder height because we will do this again and we'll go higher. So you want to have somewhere to grow. So start small. Inhale, shoulder height, add tension. Exhale, relax. Second time, shoulder height, add tension. Exhale, relax. One more time. Inhale, add tension. Exhale, relax. And now you can grow to your range of motion, which might be the same, and that's okay. Listen to your body. Or you can go up higher, maybe at the height of your forehead or even above your head if that's accessible to you. Inhale, add tension. Exhale, relax all the way down. Inhale, add tension. Exhale, relax. Activating those shoulder muscles, the deltoids. Third time, and release. Last pose here with our prop, and that's another shoulder mobility move. It's called halo. So if you want to challenge yourself, you can make the separation between your hands a little more narrow. The wider your hands, the easier this is. So this is really challenging the mobility to draw your hands a little closer. If you have shoulder issues and you cannot lift up above your head, then you're going to make a figure 8 right in front of your body. You're still working on the mobility of the shoulder girdle. Or if you have the accessibility, your figure 8 goes around your right ear and circles around the left. So it's more like an angel halo. This pose is called halo. So hands in front of the chest. There's some slack to the strap. Shoulders relaxed. And we'll do 4 times over the right ear or 4 times dipping down to the right if you're doing the figure 8. I'll do the first one as a figure 8. Figure 8 or halo. And twice more. And last one. Let me do the same thing in the opposite direction. The first one I'll do as a figure 8. Figure 8, or you can be already in the halo. Or halo over the left ear and around. Twice more. Halo and around. Last one. Halo all the way around. And go ahead and set your prop down. We'll use it at the very end to stretch the thighs. But now we're going to go into a strength and stability sequence, a lunge sequence. So I'm going to be turning towards the skinny end of the mat, the right end. You do not need the chair for this one. You can modify your lunge by modifying the range of motion between the 2 feet, or the separation between the 2 feet. So scoot up a little closer to the skinny end of your mat. You're going to start with your left leg close to the screen in front. Take the right foot back. Here's option 1. Keep it very shallow. Very small step, and both knees have a little bend. We're going to be twisting our lunge, so if you want to stay here, you can, because we are going to move the upper body. If you want, you can take that foot further back. Find your stability by lifting the hips up and down, bearing the weight. Keep both knees slightly bent. If you want even further progression, you can take that foot even a little bit further back. I touched my furniture there to find stability. You can do that too. If you need to keep a hand on the furniture, you can, but try and challenge yourself, reaching both arms forward. Look over your hands, so you're not looking at the screen right now. We are going to look at the screen because we're going to twist towards the screen. Take that left arm and open it, looking at the screen, and then come back, arms together. Second time, open, and return. Third time, open, stay here. You're looking at your screen, and we're going into twisted prayer. Bring your hands to prayer position, Anjali Mudra. And now you're in twisted prayer. If you want a progression, you can take this right elbow and dip it towards your left thigh. If you need support, set the hand on the thigh. If you want, open that left arm up to the sky. You pick. Maybe you can slide that hand down a little further. Breathe, lots of variations. One more breath cycle. Rise up, step forward, shake out the knees. And so that we can remain facing the screen, let's go ahead and face the other skinny end to do the other side. This time, the leg that's closest to the screen, your right leg, is going to be the forward leg. Bear the weight on the right, let your left heel become light, and step it back. Remember, option 1, you can do while you're twisting with a shallow stance, or medium, or the deepest progression you pick. Try not to lean into that front knee, so don't do this, because that's too much tension on the knee joint. Keep that knee joint stacked right above the heel. Find your stability by shifting the hips up and down. And now don't look at your screen. Send your hands forward to the skinny end of your mat and look over your hands. And now take that right arm and open it towards your screen, make a T, and return. Twice more. Open, working on core stability here. Return. Third one, we hold. You're open to the screen. You're going to bring your hands to prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Twisted prayer, you can stay here. If you want the progression, take this left elbow and dip it towards your right thigh. Maybe you need to rest the hand on the thigh, and if so, you could lift that opposite arm to the sky. Maybe you slide the hand towards the foot. Lots of variations. You pick. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Step forward. Shake out the knees and face your device. Whew, that was our strength and stability sequence, a little lunge, twisted lunge. We're going to go into moon salutation next. As promised, I've got my moon pants on, so we're doing moon salutation, and there is a full moon this weekend. So we're going to start in the center of our mat, and we're going to be using the entire length of the mat, so make sure you don't have anything stacked up on the ends of your mat, because we are going to be stepping wide into goddess, squat, and warrior. But we start in the center, making the number 11, tennis ball distance between the big toes, shoulders back and down, palms forward, align. Remember your heels being the foundation of your alignment, and stack everything over those heels. Don't lean forward towards your screen like this. Align. And we're going to start with just a little wrist stretch. So bring your palms once again to prayer position. And we'll start by drawing the palms down the body, just a couple inches, and then back up to the starting point. Second time, draw down, stretching, and up. Third time, draw down, lift all the way up overhead, and we go into lateral flexion here. Both hands together, keep it small, go at your own pace. Remember, just like in our warm-up, think about the side of the body that's opening. Don't worry about the collapsing side, that'll happen on its own. So really focus on the opening side. One more to each side. And come to center, hands to heart center, and we're going to step wide into goddess squat. So step wide, and as I stepped wide, I opened my toes out towards the corners of the mat. So I'm externally rotated through the hips and thighs. Let's go ahead and take those arms into cactus arms, tuck the shoulder blades into your back pockets, and we'll go into goddess 3 times. Lower the hips, rise up, make a V. Second time, down and up. Third time, down and up. Hands come back to heart center. And we're going to add our lateral flexion here. Lots of lateral flexions in a moon salutation. Think about making lots of crescent moons. So sink into your goddess, put your left hand on your left hip, right hand to the sky, and we add lateral flexion. 3 and up, 2 and up. Last one. And up. Send your arms out into a T. Take your right knee and point it all the way to the right end and kick your left heel back, straightening out your back leg. So we're going into warrior 2 here. Line up your bent right knee over the second toe. Don't let it flop towards your screen. Push it back, line it up. Throw that left shoulder back as you extend the arms into a T, warrior 2. And guess what? Another crescent shape. Reverse warrior 2, 3 times. Left hand down, right hand up, open, balance, and back to warrior 2. Second time, reverse, warrior 2. Third time, reverse, and warrior 2. Going into triangle, baby triangle, because we didn't add any props today. Straighten both legs. Imagine you're squeezing a beach ball between your inner thighs, so activate those inner thigh muscles. And now tip your body, right hand comes down to the thigh, left hand up to the sky. Here's your baby triangle. You don't have to go any further than this. Just working on a small balance component. But if you want to, slide that right hand below the knee. Don't have it right on the knee, because you don't want to press on the knee joint. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend that right knee and lift all the way back up. You're back in warrior 2. And now we're going to go into a lunge. Sweep both arms to the right end of your mat, sweeping them over the right knee. And now we're going to change the back foot. Lift that left heel and turn the left foot. Find your balance, just like we did the lunge before, but this time we're going to add crescent. If you need to shorten your stance, draw the back foot in. Lift both arms up, rib cage up, and crescent lunge. Reach forward. Twice more. Arms up, rib cage up, crescent, and reach forward. Last one. Arms up, rib cage up, crescent, and arms come all the way down to touch your right thigh. We're going to turn all the toes to face your device. And we'll shift there, the heels and toes. And now we're just going to shift back and forth with the hips. Bending the opposite knee, and then coming back. Go at your own pace. Shift side to side, push the hips back. Keep your chin level. Don't look down. Let's do one more to each side. And then wherever you are, you want to end with your hands on the left thigh. And we do that entire sequence going back in the opposite direction. So we're going to start with that crescent lunge. Turn all the toes to face the skinny left end of your mat. Make sure you're not on a balance beam, so you don't want one foot directly behind the other. You want to have separation so you have stability. Sink up and down. You are not on a balance beam. Send your arms forward. Breathe, shoulders down. Going into crescent lunge 3 times. Arms up, rib cage up, crescent, baby back bend. Reach over the knee. Second time, arms up, rib cage cage up, lean back, and reach forward. Last time, arms up, rib cage up, and crescent lunge. Reach forward, and we're going to drop the back heel. Align that front knee, make sure it's going over the second toe, and shift that arm back into warrior two, going into triangle pose. Straighten both knees. Remember, if you need to shorten your stance, inch the back foot in just a tiny bit. We're going to tilt the body, bringing the left hand down to the left thigh, and the right hand to the sky. You can stay here. Baby triangle, working on stability with two straight legs. If it's accessible to you, draw that hand below the knee. Remember, not on the knee. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend that left knee. Come back to warrior two. Throw that right shoulder back. Make sure your alignment is still good. Check in with your left knee. Did it flop towards the device? If so, push it back. Align. Always thinking about alignment. And now, our next crescent was reverse warrior. Right hand down, left hand up. Come back to warrior two. Second time. Open the left side body. And warrior two. Last time. Reverse. And warrior two. Beautiful. Bring your hands to heart center. Resetting our goddess pose. So turn all your toes towards your device. And then turn the toes out towards the corners of your mat. Heels in, toes out. Setting up for goddess here. Come into cactus arms. Shoulder blades into your back pockets. And we sink down and rise up. Sink down and rise up. One more time, goddess squat. Bring your hands to heart center. Coming into your goddess squat. Place your right hand on your right thigh, left hand to the sky, and we laterally flex. Another crescent shape. 3, and lift. 2, and lift. Last one, and lift. Hands to heart center, rise up. Walk your feet together, soft knees. Come back to the number 11. Lift your arms up. Going into lateral flexion again. Remember, lots of crescent shapes here, working the side body in moon salutation. Go at your own pace. Breathe. One more to each side. Come back to center, hands to heart center. And we finish with a little wrist stretch. This one is opposite of the very first one that we did. So point your fingertips down, relax your shoulders down, and slide the hands up against your body and then down. It's just an inch or two. Slide up and down, slide up. Release all the way down, shake everything out, shake out your knees, and that was your moon salutation. Good work, my friends. We're going to go into 2 more standing poses, and then we're going to make our way down to the mat. We only transition 1 time, so that means if you want to move your device lower when we sit down, you don't have to move it again after that. We'll be staying low on the mat. So you can have a stack of books if you like, if that helps, or you can put it directly on the floor. But we have 2 more standing poses. The next one is a range of motion pose called railroad tracks. This allows us to have a greater range of motion in the ability to twist the body. Something that we do a lot in normal everyday life. Maybe you twist to pick up something off the counter. Maybe you're driving in your car and you twist to look behind you. Or maybe you are a sports person and you twist in golf or tennis. So this is a great pose to improve range of mobility in our twisting component. So let's start with our feet on railroad tracks, so a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So maybe about the distance of, I don't know, a yoga block, maybe about 10 inches apart. And now we're going to come to a staggered railroad tracks. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. We're not in a lunge. The left big toe is even with the right heel. So it's just a very small split stance. Relax your shoulders. The knees are straight but soft, so don't hyperextend from the side. I'll show you that. My knees are soft. If I hyperextend, that would look like this, pushing them back. Don't do that. You want to keep a little bit of softness, even though they're straight. And now don't lean forward. Just because your right foot is forward, don't lean forward. You want to maintain that upright spine, lowering your shoulder blades into your back pockets. We're going to go into our assessment first. So we're going to turn towards the left. Your hands can just relax. Don't rotate your hips. You want to rotate through the rib cage and shoulder girdle, but don't rotate your hips. Go as far as you can. Remember the spot that you're looking at, and then come back to face me. Hopefully the second time we do that, we look past the spot. That's why I want you to remember the spot you were looking at. Internally rotate both feet. So that means point your big toes towards the imaginary midline of your body. If you feel like you're going to tip over, then you went too far. You can draw it back just a tiny bit. The more internal rotation you can get without tipping over, the more change you're going to see on the range of motion the second time. So find your stance. We're going to turn, and we're not going to go as far this time. This is the stretch, and we're going to count down from 10. So don't hold your breath here. Shoulders in your back pockets, arms just hanging loose. Inhale, exhale, turn, keep breathing. You won't go as far, counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Face front, come back on your railroad tracks. And now we'll make the second assessment. Shoulders relaxed, shoulder blades in your back pockets, arms are relaxed. Inhale, exhale, turn. And I was able to turn almost all the way behind me. That was amazing. So hopefully you found a greater range of motion as well. Let's do the second side. Switching your staggered stance or your split stance. Now your left foot is forward, right foot is back. Right big toe even with the left heel. Shoulder blades into your back pockets. We're not leaning towards the screen, remember? Tall spine. And we're going to rotate our upper body towards the right. Go as far as you can. Don't turn your hips. And remember the spot that you're looking at. Come back to face front. And now we internally rotate both feet. Pointing those big toes towards each other. Make sure you're stable. If you need to adjust, go ahead and make the adjustment before we twist. Shoulder blades into your back pockets. Arms are relaxed. Remember, we're only turning the upper body. Don't move your hips. Inhale. Exhale, turn to the right. You won't go as far, and we're counting down. 10, 9, keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Face the front. Come back on your railroad tracks. And we'll reassess. Shoulder blades in your back pockets. Tall spine. Inhale. Exhale. Turn once again to your right. Wow. Again, I turned almost all the way around. That was a great, I must have really needed that stretch today. Shake out your knees. Step it out. Good work, my friends. Railroad tracks stretch. The science behind that is when we internally rotate, we're closing the front of the pelvis, which means equal and opposite, we are opening the back of the pelvis. So that's where the stretch is happening, allowing us that greater twist. All right, let's do one more standing pose. This is our balance pose, and it's called balancing butterfly. Here's a pose where if you wanted a prop, you could use a piece of furniture or a wall. So this is a very low squat with your feet together. So one option, you don't have to have your feet together. You could come into just a goddess squat. And that's okay if that's better for you. If you're going to join me in feet together, you're going to lift your heels to come down very low, so low that we can touch the floor. If that is not accessible to you, then use your chair or a wall, and you can come into your low squat with your hands touching a chair or a wall. Or join me in the balance version here. You don't have to, remember, chair, wall, options. Make a V shape with your feet, heels touching, toes open wide. We're going to start to lower our hips, bending the knees. You're going to reach down and catch the floor before you land your face on it. Heels are still touching. Knees are open wide. And this is a very low butterfly squat. If you need to be up a little higher, hands on the chair or the wall. Going into balancing butterfly. Well, you're already balancing, really. You're balancing on the balls of your feet, strengthening the feet, also stretching through the inner thighs and groins. But if you want to challenge yourself, take those 10 fingers that are touching the floor or the chair and turn them into 4, making your peace fingers. Or, another challenge, make 4 fingers into 2 or 1, or you know where I'm going with this. If you can, look at something that doesn't move and come into 0 fingers touching. Hold for 1 breath cycle. Set your hands back down, set your hips down. If you want, move your device before you get comfortable on the mat, because we're going to go into seated poses. Once you've got your device moved, go ahead and extend your legs long. And we'll go into our seated sequence. Legs are long, move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. This is called staff pose, Dandasana. We're going to do a forward fold here and assess our range of motion, because yoga is a lot about stretching, and so we like to see if we're making a difference. So we'll do this pose before some stretches, and then we'll add some stretches, and then we'll do it again and see, once again, like we did the railroad tracks, see if we've improved our range of motion. So bring your hands below your knees, draw your upper body towards your device, lower the elbows down. We're not folding from the waist, we're folding from the hips. So the entire upper body, the entire spine is stretching out towards your device. Keep those shoulders relaxed by dropping the elbows. Assess your range of motion here. See what feels tight. Thighs, hips, low back. We're going to work on stretches for all of those. So come back to sit tall, and we'll start our sequence here. We'll do entire side on the right and then entire side on the left. This sequence will end up in a bird dog pose, which is a strength pose for the back. So I'll be showing the opportunity to use a chair if you don't want to be on your knees for bird dog. Bird dog is like a table pose with one leg lifted. So have a chair close by if you want, or if you're okay on your knees, but you need a cushion, you can have a little mat or hand towel, gardening mat or hand towel, and I'll show that option as well. So let's start with half shoelace. Draw your right foot in, step it over the left leg, and then bring the outside edge of the foot down to the mat. So the knee lowers away from your body. Maybe you already feel a nice little stretch through that right hip. We're going to add a back body stretch here by internally rotating. Cradle that right knee with both arms. And now let's start this stretch. Let's go from the bottom up today. Lower your chest. That's the lumbar spine. Make a greater C shape. That's the thoracic spine. And tuck the chin to your chest. That's the cervical spine. Getting a stretch all the way down the back body here. If you want to add a fourth component, turn your face towards the right and bring your left cheekbone closer to the right knee. Half shoelace pose. One more breath cycle. And lift all the way up out of that pose. We're going to figure 4, stretching that right hip. So keep your leg crossed over. Just allow the ankle to rest on the thigh so the foot is floating. Hands come behind you so you can slightly recline and then bend your left knee. Remember, you can set this up for your body. So less intensity, the foot is closer to your device. More intensity, the foot is closer to your hips, or you can even pick up your hips and set them right next to that heel. Wiggle your toes. Let your hips feel heavy. Sink into your mat. Going for a deep muscle group here. Gluteus medius and piriformis. Picture the gluteus maximus. That's the large muscle closest to the surface of your rear end. And now hiding underneath that is the smaller muscle tucked underneath, the gluteus medius. That's the one we're going for. One more breath cycle. And straighten out both legs. We're going to go into head to knee pose. So open to a V shape and then draw that right foot into the left leg. Sit tall. Turn towards the left leg. Fold from the hip crease and bring your hands below the knee. Draw the elbows down. We're going to take 3 awareness breaths here because we have a tendency to go into a pose and go to the place that we've always been. And we feel a stretch, but we can go deeper. So on an inhale, we're going to take it deeper, but on the exhale, we're going to come back to our safe spot, the spot you're in right now. So elbows relaxed. Inhale, deepen. Exhale, relax. Inhale, deepen. Exhale, relax. One more. Inhale, deepen. Exhale, relax. All right, we did some shoulder mobility with the strap earlier, standing up. So let's add a little bit more shoulder mobility today, really focusing on benefits for the shoulders. I'm going to show the first one small, and we're going to do 4. Keeping your left hand on the left leg. Take that right arm, open it up just in front of the chest, and then return. You can do all 4 of them like that, or you can make it a deeper rainbow motion over your head. Lift up and touch behind you. Return. Twice more. Shoulder mobility. Paint a rainbow in the sky or in front of your body. Last one. And lift all the way up. We're going to go into bird dog pose. So options here. If you want to be on your knees but you need a cushion, you're just going to set that cushion next to your right knee, and you're going to turn and put your right knee on that cushion and swing the left leg behind you. If you don't want to be on your knees at all, put your hands on your chair, and you're going to stand up. You're going to lift that left leg up behind you. And for the balance component, you're going to do the contralateral or opposite arm, reaching that right arm forward. If you're on the mat, and I'll show the mat version as well, you're reaching the right arm and the left leg. Bird dog pose. Breathe, also called extended table. We're going to add bird dog bow 4 times. So bring that right hand back to the mat. It looks the same whether you're using the chair or not, so I'm going to show the chair version. It looks the same if you want to stay on the knee. We're just going to bend both elbows and make sure the elbows bend backwards, not out to the side, but bend backwards 4 times. Bend and lift, bend and lift, bend and lift. Last one. Bend and lift. We're going to come back to face the screen and sweep back into our extended V shape. And then bring those legs back together, and we'll do that entire sequence on the other side. So draw your left foot in, step it over, outside edge goes down to the mat, internally rotate. We're going from the bottom of the spine up, so start to lower your chest, lumbar spine stretch, exaggerate the C shape, open those shoulder blades, tuck the chin, and if you want that 4th component, turn your face towards the left to bring your right cheekbone closer to the left knee. Take 2 more breath cycles. And lift all the way up. Keep that leg crossed over. Just bring the ankle on top of the thigh, allowing the foot to float. Bring your hands behind you so you can slightly recline and then bend that right knee. Adjust the position of the stretch for your body. Less intensity, more intensity, most intensity. Relax the feet, wiggle the toes on both feet. Try not to sink your head down into your shoulders. You're not a turtle escaping into your shell. Shoulders are relaxed, the chin is lifted. The hips are heavy. You can let your hips sink into your mat. Breathe. Deep muscle, remember, gluteus medius. Find it deep underneath the gluteus maximus. 1 more breath cycle. And we extend both legs forward, separating into a V shape, and then drawing your left foot into the right inner thigh. As we transition to bird dog, after we do our head to knee pose, we're going to be transitioning to the opposite side. So if you need to move your chair over the other side, or if you have another piece of furniture you can use, then that's okay, you can use that as well. and your knee pad needs to be over there as well. But let's turn away from that right now, turning towards the right leg. Hands below the right knee, draw the elbows down. Relax those shoulders away from the ears. And we're going to add those 3 awareness breaths. Going deeper on the inhale, and then come back to our safe spot on the exhale. Inhale, deepen. Exhale, relax. Bow the head. Inhale, deepen. Long spine. Exhale, relax. One more time. Inhale, deepen. Exhale, relax. We're going into our shoulder mobility now, so keep your right hand on the right leg. I'll show the first one with a low range of motion. If you have any issues with your shoulder, obviously you need to make note of that and modify for your body. So on this first one, to keep it low, you just sweep the arm in front and tap the earth behind you. Returning. We'll do it 3 more times. I'll add a deeper range of motion if you want. Rainbow up and over, and then return. Twice more. Shoulder mobility. Also a little bit core strength to lift up and touch behind you. And return. Going into bird dog, second side, so lift all the way up. Remember your options here. You can be on the knee or you can use the chair. If you're using the knee, you need a pad. Just go ahead and tuck that towel or pad underneath. Swing your right leg behind you. Plant your hands strongly. Make big stars with your hands. And then float that right leg up off the mat. Option to use a piece of furniture. You're standing behind the furniture. And the right leg is floating. Bird dog. Adding the balance component. Your left arm reaches forward. Contralateral. Opposite. Right leg and left arm. One more breath cycle here. And everyone put that left hand back down. I'm going to show this one from the mat, but you can stay standing up if you need to for your knee. And we're going to go into bird dog bow. Bend the elbows backwards and lift. 3 more times. Bend and lift. Bend and lift. Last one. Bend and lift. Go ahead and set the foot down. Return your bottoms to the mat. Even if you were standing up, we're all coming back into that extended V shape. Close your legs. Let's go back to that very first seated pose. Legs are long in front. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. Bring your hands below your knees. And we're going into seated forward fold. Draw the chest forward. Drop the elbows down. Maybe your hands can reach a little bit closer to your ankles or toes this time around. Or maybe it just feels a little more accessible to come into the pose. Maybe your range of motion is the same, it just feels less tight. That's our goal. One more breath cycle. And crawl all the way back up to sit tall. We are now going to go to lying on our backs poses. So we are going to use our prop that we used early on, our strap or belt or hand towel, and do some stretches for the thighs. So go ahead and lie down. I'm going to swing my feet towards the end of the mat that's closest to the window here so that my face isn't in the dark. I realized when I was watching one of these videos that if I lie down the other way, my face is in the dark. It doesn't matter which end you go to. I'm just going to try to keep my face more in the light here. Hopefully that works. Go ahead and hug your knees here. Upside down child's pose. Give a little sway. And we're going to start with our strap stretches. So plant your feet on the mat. Take your strap or your belt or your hand towel. Tuck your right knee into your chest and place that prop on the sole of the foot. Extend it to the sky and hold on to the ends of your strap or belt or hand towel. And now because your arms are up, your shoulders may have lifted off the mat. If that's the case, let them fall backwards into the mat and then apply a little tension on the strap to pull the straight leg towards you. Make sure you keep this knee straight. If you bend the knee, and you can check this yourself right now, bend the knee, the stretch goes away. Yeah, your knee comes closer to your chest, but you lost the stretch. So it's better to have a lower range of motion or a lesser range of motion and keep the knee straight. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And we're gonna open that leg out towards your device. Lower that leg, opening it. And if you want, you can straighten out the opposite leg as well. Breathe. Getting an inner thigh groin stretch. If you want to enhance or progress this stretch, the device that you're holding, the prop that you're holding, pull it towards your nose. So enhance that inner thigh stretch. Let your leg be heavy on your prop, like it's a piece of wet spaghetti, cooked spaghetti, limp noodle. One more breath cycle. Put a little softness in the knee, draw it into your chest, and remove that strap. We're switching legs. We're going to do the inner thigh and hamstring on the opposite leg. So draw the left knee in, place the strap on the sole of the left foot, extend it up to the sky. Remember when your arms reach up for that strap or belt that your shoulders may have lifted up as well. If so, let them fall backwards into the mat and then pull that straight leg towards you. Keep that knee straight to enhance your stretch. We're stretching the hamstring and the calf on the back of the leg. Breathe. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the throat. One more breath cycle. And we're going to take it to an inner thigh stretch. So start to open the leg away from the screen. If you want, you can straighten out the opposite leg. I've got a piece of furniture here, so I'm not going to go very far into it. But hopefully you've got some space and you can open that leg all the way towards the floor. Maybe floating right above the floor. Maybe not. Maybe it's higher. That's okay. Listen to your muscles. Let the leg be heavy in the prop. Remember, it's a piece of cooked spaghetti. One more breath cycle. And bend the knee into your chest. Remove the strap and set it off to the side. Hug both knees into your chest. And give a little sway. We're going to do a couple poses here without the prop and add some outer thigh stretches. So plant both feet flat on the mat and set your feet as wide as the mat. So the knees and the feet are both wide. Your hands could rest on your belly, you could come into a T, or you could make cactus arms above your head, going into windshield wipers with both legs. Lower the knees to one side and then to the other. The knees are moving together. And we're giving a little massage to the gluteal muscles, a little baby stretch for the outer thighs. Do one more to each side. And then wherever you are, lower your knees to the right. Variation of open belly twist here. If you want to add a deeper stretch for the IT band, you can pick up this right foot and set it on the left outer thigh. Your knee may not touch, it might just be floating above. We're just using the resistance of the right leg to enhance the IT band stretch on the left leg. Do not let your shoulders peel up off the mat. Because both legs are leaning towards the right, your left shoulder has a tendency to peel up, so don't let it. It helps to look straight up at the ceiling, and that'll keep those shoulders pressed into the mat. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And now if you pick that right foot up and set it on the thigh, go ahead and set it back down. And now stack your knees and feet, going into the more traditional open belly twist. Again, I've got my arms in cactus arms, but you could have your arms out in a T shape. Keep both shoulder blades touching the mat. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Inhale both knees back to center. I'm going to do that entire sequence on the other side, our windshield wiper and open belly twist sequence. So separate your feet wide again. Adjust your low back, make a good connection. Let's do a couple regular windshield wipers first. The same thing that we did on the first time. Let's do one more to each side. And this time when you pause, let both knees drop towards the left. Variation of open belly twist with the feet wide. And again, if you want to add that variation, pick up your left foot and set it on the outside of the right thigh. Deepening the IT band stretch on the right leg. Look straight up at the ceiling. Deep breaths. Feel that rotation through the spine, the connection between the spine and the pelvis. And we'll take one more breath cycle. And now if that foot is outside the thigh, go ahead and relax it back down to the earth. And then stack your knees and feet, coming into the traditional open belly twist. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And inhale both knees back to center. Adjust your low back and then hug your knees into your chest again. Add a little sway if you like. We're going to go into happy baby pose, a stretch for the low back here. So separate your knees and feet wide. Your feet are still floating off the mat. And now bring your feet to look up at the ceiling. Knees are bent, feet are flexed, and the soles of your feet are looking up at the ceiling. Now your hands can reach up and hold onto your shins or your ankles, your big toes, or maybe you can grab the soles of your feet and draw those bent knees closer to your armpits. Same thing, our arms are reaching up, so our shoulders probably lifted. Let them roll backwards. Imagine your tailbone is feeling heavy towards the mat. Feel that deeper stretch just by setting your mind to the portion of body that we are stretching, low back and hips. If you want, add a sway here. Massaging the low back. If that doesn't feel good, then remain stationary. Look up at the ceiling. Maybe close your eyes if you like. One more breath cycle. Pause the motion if you were rocking. Bring your arms down to the earth. One at a time, bring your feet down to the earth. Lengthen your legs out, coming into a full body stretch. Arms up above your head. Inhale. Exhale, yawn. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale, yawn. We're going to go into a breathing pose here. This is called snake breath. Your arms can stay up above your head. That feels good to open up through the shoulders. You can come to cactus arms with bent arms, or you can rest your hands on your belly. Your legs could be straight, or you could bend your knees if that's more comfortable. We're going to be doing snake breath, which has a longer exhalation than inhalation, and we'll do it 3 times. Inhaling for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 8. And the way we do that, the way we can have a longer exhalation, is to make it sound like a snake or like air hissing out of a balloon. So you actually make that S sound like a hissing snake or a hissing balloon. So let's take one normal breath cycle first. Look up at the ceiling. You don't need to look at the device. If you want, close your eyes. Even better. Take one normal breath cycle in and out. And your next inhale, inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. And now exhale like a snake. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. One more. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and return to normal breathing. That pose is meant to increase our respiratory system. So just like we do with every other yoga pose, we're trying to increase our stretch or increase our strength or increase our mobility. We can also enhance our respiratory system in yoga. We're going to go into relaxation now. You can keep your knees bent. You can come into a sideline fetal position. You can come into corpse, long arms, long legs. I'm sitting up just so my voice projects. But remain lying down. Remain comfortable, unless that's uncomfortable. And then go ahead and sit up or come to a child's pose, whatever feels comfortable to you. Relax. Think of that very first pose that we did. It was the American Sign Language gesture for friendship. And think about in this time that we're in, when we're teaching virtual classes, taking yoga on Facebook Live or Zoom, and sometimes it's hard to maintain those relationships. So I'm happy, and even though we're not interacting with each other, that you are leaving me comments off to the side and letting me know you're here and that you're enjoying your yoga practice and that we're maintaining that friendship that we have with our community, our fitness community, our yoga community. Take a few more breath cycles in and out. Relax your jaw, relax your brow, your throat, your tongue. Everything sinking into the mat, as if your mat were a beach blanket on a soft bed of sand. Warm sand feels good against your body. It contours to every curve that you have, the backs of your knees, your low back, your ankles, the back of your neck. Everything supported by the soft sand. Feel the warmth from the sky above, the sun. Feel the warmth within your body, your energy, your circulatory system. Think of all the benefits that we try to provide our body today with our yoga practice. Take one more breath cycle. And we're going to return to a seated pose. So you can either roll to your side and push yourselves up to a seated position, or you can make one little sit-up, adding one more strength pose to your practice today if you like. Coming into a seated pose, you can sit cross-legged as I'm doing, but if that bothers your knees, go ahead and send your legs forward, or you can even sit in mermaid sit with both feet tucked off to one side. Lift your chest tall, ribcage lifting up away from your hips, shoulders relaxed, chin is level. We'll finish with a quote. Today's quote is about friendship from a sportscaster named Ed Cunningham. And he wrote, "Friends are those rare people who you ask how they are and then wait for the answer." So don't be thinking of your next response, my friends. Listen to each other. Wait for an answer. Bring your hands outside your hips. Inhale to the sky. Let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit breath, and your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope to see you again. I will save this video. It'll be called Moon Salutation. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.